Yeah, that moment is when you know this is not your average V6. Hey guys, welcome to another car review, and this time we're in a 2016 Challenger V6, and as you can already hear, this is not a regular V6. The regular V6 makes 305 horsepower and 268 pound-feet of torque. This one has a supercharger on it. This one is making over 400 wheel horsepower and over 400 wheel torque. And just easing into it back there, I can already feel that it is definitely a quick car. Get on these brakes here. There's stock V6 brakes, but of course the rotors are been changed out, and it also has carbon ceramic pads on it. That turning though does have a decent amount of body roll. Does like to get up and go, and that is not even full throttle. That's crazy. That blow-off valve he has. Now the rotors are R1 Concept carbon alloy, and they are also slotted and drilled, and you can really feel that when you get on the brakes. Now the funny thing about this supercharger kit is that it actually gains miles per gallon when you don't get on it. Right now, I'm of course on a little bit of an incline, but as soon as I level off and the transmission shifts in top gear, like right here, we're over 30 miles per gallon, and that is pretty darn good for a car that has over 400 horsepower. And since we're on the topic of miles per gallon, here at the 60 mile an hour mark, we're tacking just 1500 RPM, which is not bad at all. Now this is of course the automatic. It doesn't have paddle shifters on the steering wheel, but you can shift it with the manual gear knob over here. Man, this thing rips! It rips! Of course, the supercharger kit is also named RIPP, so that makes a lot of sense. One of the things that people always say when you have a car like this, you should get the V8. And I'm kind of part of that crew saying, okay, you buy a Mustang, you buy a Camaro, you buy a Challenger, you get the V8. You don't deal with the 2 liters or 2.3 liters in case of the Mustang or the Pentastar. That is the base offering in the Challenger world. But then you have cars like this, and that makes a whole lot of sense. There is so much fun to be had to be sitting at the light, someone hearing, oh, it's just a V6 with an exhaust, and then the hammer goes down, and you completely destroy that V8 next to you, and they'll be scratching the back of their heads and going, what just happened? The owner actually took this to the track, and true story, one of the guys that he ran pulled a Jesse from Fast and Furious. He lost and he left right away. And I can kind of see that because you just got shown up by a V6, but it also makes 400 horsepower and 400 torque to the wheel, in excess of that. So you are right at those SRT numbers. It is freaking crazy. Now, one of the things that I've always loved about the Challenger, they are in my book, and I'm a Mustang fan through and through, the #1 in the retro styling, and they have been #1 since 2008. They came out with this car, and I saw it at the car show here in Dallas, and I was completely and utterly in love with it. It's a great styling on that car, and they actually upped the ante in 2015 when they put the new taillight section on there. It makes it look so awesome. And the interior also got a huge upgrade. The old one, really rental car interior, this so much better. Of course, I've driven the Hellcat, so I've already seen the new interior, but it doesn't change the fact that it just looks absolutely gorgeous. I love these gauges. You have the LCD center where it shows your speed, but also a bunch of other stuff if you wish. And those clocks, they just look great, retro styled, awesome stuff. Another thing that I really love about this particular car is, of course, the infotainment system. It's not a small screen, it's nice and big, so you're not gonna have any issues trying to figure out what is what. Now, when we talk about the interior space on the car, is on point. It's a big car, it's 2 tons essentially, but that translates into epic amount of room. And this is also the only car out of the trifecta that I can actually sit in the back and have some sort of comfort. And of course, the trunk is absolutely freaking huge. The seats fold down also, so you get more space that way as well. Well, when you talk interior, of course I have to talk about seats. I do not have any issues with my love handles in these seats because they're nice and big, but they still hold you in place pretty darn good, and I love it. These cars are definitely built with the bigger person in mind, whereas the other two really are for smaller people. Now, one thing of course you have to bring up in these is visibility. It's completely fine out the front. You have pretty massive A-pillars, but it's not too bad to look around those. But the C-pillar in the back, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Now, visibility straight out the back is absolutely great, but as soon as you get into a quarter panel situation, you're gonna lose cars completely in that. You have to be mindful for that. The owner did change a couple of things on the exterior. Of course, the hood is a Hellcat hood that's carbon fiber. Looks absolutely mean, especially when you look at it from the front end. If you see this in the rearview mirror, then you're probably gonna wanna move. And the rear has that duckbill spoiler on it, and I absolutely love that styling. It's super awesome, and it fits the car, of course, because no one that isn't a car enthusiast is gonna go through this much effort to make a car quick on the track and give it a bunch more horsepower, because it's a V6. Only true enthusiasts get to that point that they put that money into a V6, and I respect the hell out of that. Now, of course, you're gonna miss that soundtrack. V6s don't sound as good as V8s. It's a fact, and you can hate me for it, but it's just a fact. But don't hate on the V6 owner just because he puts a supercharger on it. And there's a ton of other modifications that have been done to this car, so I would invite you to go check out 86 Face on YouTube. His link is going to be in the description. He's also an awesome guy for letting me review his car. So based on that alone, you should click that link in the description. This thing absolutely freaking rips. Zero wheel spin there. These Mickey Thompsons, they're gonna stick. There's Race Star wheels on the back and Mickey Thompson ET Streets, and there's virtually zero thread. You can see just a little bit just to make them dot legal, but man, if you end up in the rain, and it's kind of like overcast, so if it started raining right now, we're gonna have issues. But man, this thing hooks and it just goes, flat out flies, and I love it. Yeah, this is just absolutely freaking nuts. So fast, this thing, so quick. You would not expect this kind of stuff from a V6. That is just absolutely freaking nuts. And just the way it looks, the stance on this car, it just tells you, hey, this is a muscle car. And then when you look at the sides, you know, a lot of people probably think, hey, man, this is a V8. Then it starts up, they get disappointed. But you don't have to be disappointed in this. This is quick, it has V8 power. The only thing that it doesn't have is that exhaust note. Even that downshift, you just hear that supercharger go up and down in RPM. Absolutely great. I love it. this thing is just so quick from a dig, man. So quick. No one expects this from a V6 at all. You hear this exhaust note, you go, whatever. Nope, nope, nope. You are going to be having such a bad day if you underestimate this thing. It is freaking crazy, and it's all smiles for me, man. This is what being a car enthusiast is about, man. Regardless of the engine choice, running so much power, and the owner actually has ideas, and he has passions, and he has a goal that he wants to bring this up to 600 wheel horsepower. Now, if that happens, a lot more people are going to have serious issues with this thing at the track or the light if that happens. Now, you do feel that back end kind of get washed out when you take that corner a little sharp, but it's not that bad. Of course, these tires, they're not made for lateral grip, they made for straight acceleration, so you have to be mindful of that when you drive it.
You want to do something cool?
Sure.
The next one, start off at first, shift into second, and then let it go all the way up to about 4K, and then smash on it. You'll do a boost launch.
Kidding! Man, this thing it just rips, and the Supercharger name is completely on point, as I mentioned previously. Man, this thing is so much fun to drive. Alex, thank you so much for allowing me to review your Challenger. Haven't driven one of these yet, and I just think it looks great. I'm not gonna say it sounds great because it's not a V8, but it goes like freaking stink. This is a V6 that I can agree with. Thank you so much, man. Freaking awesome. As far as performance figures, this car does 0 to 60 now in a 4-second range, and the quarter mile is dispatched in 12 seconds. So this is not a slow V6, people. And a 0 to 100 time is 9-second range. That's quick. And of course, over here, we're gonna have to do this thing as per usual. All the way back to first gear, the 8-speed transmission. Wow, man. This thing is absolutely crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I know I had a freaking blast. It's a freaking V6. This is great. You guys take care, and I'll see you on the flip side.
Got one of those too.
You got a Raptor?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I like those. I still need to do a truck.
It's a beast.
You got the 6.2?
Mm-hmm. Horrible on gas.
Oh yeah, probably. Part of the reason why you got this.
Yeah.
But then you supercharged it, but you gained gained MPGs. Yeah.
Sure did.
But who cares? You know, it's all about the miles per gallon.
Exactly.
Wildlife scatters. Have you got on it when it was this cold?
Oh yeah, all the time. You know, streets of Mexico.
Ah, yes. You boys like Mexico? I love that. R1 concept, drilled and slotted carbon alloy motors. What the hell? How the hell can you say that, man? This is how. This is like the difference between Jeremy Clarkson and me. This is why he gets paid the big bucks and I don't. That's crazy. Taking it nice and easy.
Now you know why so many Mopar V8 owners hate this thing.
Oh, this thing is quick, man.